What's going on, y'all? I'm here to talk about my personal favorite of the three of the, future forms of the Three Musketeers, Iron Crown. So before I get into all the really cool buffs and changes I've got for him going on here, I recommend that if you're a new viewer, you check out the description below and you read it because it's got a lot of really important background information about how this ROM hack is balanced and the way I change everything and why I change everything the way I do. So give that a read. It'll give you important context. And if you're a returning viewer, shout out to you. I appreciate it very much watching all my videos. Make sure you drop a comment. It helps the algorithm, helps my videos reach more people, which therefore helps my work and supports my work. So do all that for me, please. And yeah, when you're done with the video, if you haven't done so yet, I would recommend looking at the Google Sheet down below, joining my Discord, all that other good stuff. The Google Sheet has every single move in the game organized into all sorts of different categories for you to understand them better, because every single move is reworked for the most part, or at least put into new categories and stuff. So yeah, give all that a look when you're done with the video, and also check out my other ones, of course. For those of you who watch every single video, I appreciate you guys very much, and I can now get into the Iron Crown changes. So, Quark Drive, of course, is staying. The main use of that in this case would be for booster speed, because you have Ruthless for offensive boosting, although you do have some non-crit, a good amount of non-crit moves that maybe you want to boost on, I don't know, your Eternal Beam or something. So for special attack booster, it's not useless or anything. It's just, most of the time you'd use it for speed because of your other two abilities. And then you've got Ruthless for that big damage boost, and then you've got Energy Shield for that defensive utility, which all three of these guys have, as well as a couple other future paradoxes like Iron Moth and others. I see them using it. I see them with the ability because they've got like that flowing energy, glowing crap, in all their designs. Like all the future Pokemon have that for the most part, so I think that's really cool on them. And it lets him switch in easier. He can, switch in, Choice Scarf, kill things easier, or switch in and just outspeed and take some kills, or even cooler, use it defensively, because he actually is very tanky. 92, 108, 108 is super, super bulky, and you can use that in an in-game context, right, with Move Relearner and infinite ability to change your abilities around and all that good stuff. So you can run him, with defensive utility stuff like, I don't know, Volt Switch, Teleport, Fortify, Recharge, which are healing moves, Disable, Metal Sound, which drops special attack and special defense. All types of cool little tools you can abuse there. I also didn't give him Power Glow. I don't really care, man. Like, I guess I can toss in a 63 booster. I don't know, man. I'll find a spot for it after the video. I'll write it down real quick. Power Glow. Because I've been giving that to all the future mons, even though it's overkill, and I don't know. I'm not a fan of it personally, but it's cool flavor-wise, so I've been throwing it on there. I wrote that down. So, sorry, I was just writing a note for myself. So, because I know my ass is going to forget otherwise, because I'm in the middle of recording a video. But yeah, Iron Crown, Ruthless, flavor-wise, is really cool on him. Base Cobalion will actually all of the Iron abilities that you see, all of them are shared, like the boosting ability. So, for example, Terrakion's going to keep Brute Force, Cobalion's going to keep Ruthless, and then Verizion's going to keep Sharpness, which is super, super cool. I really like that, personally. I think it's really cool. And then, again, all three of the future, Musketeers have the abilities Energy Shield, so that's really cool too for defensive utility and stuff. But Ruthless, as you can see, has tons of cool options. So as a future mon, it's got really cool like Subspace Tear, and then Tachyon Cutter is called Mirror Cutter, which in hindsight the rename isn't that necessary, because the only other mons that have it are like Iron Valiant and Metagross, and that's like pretty much all the mons that make sense for it, really, to me. So Mirror Cutter versus Tachyon Cutter isn't really a huge distinction there, but whatever, it's, fitting name, so, and more simple sounding, I guess. So I kept it as Mirror Cutter, because initially I renamed it so that way I could give it to more mons, but then I realized not many mons make sense for it anyways that are like special attacking, slashing type Pokemon, like very few are like that, or at least mixed attacking ones like Metagross and stuff. So yeah, anyway, getting sidetracked, and Iron Valiant also being mixed, of course, but in this case this thing is purely a special attacker. It's kind of funny, dude. The physical attack, like, this thing's stats make no sense. I don't like how low its attack is, but I just wanted to match the other ones, which all have 48 in their special attack, which is just, so I can give them all three of them 108 in their defenses. And like, yeah, it doesn't make any logical sense. I don't see even really, I mean, being special is cool. I like him being special. I wish I could make him mix, but there's just not enough BST points for that at all. Because flavor-wise, I mean, he still has like Cobalion's body plan and horns and all this crap. So him being 48 attack only is like really stupid. But again, that's just, I mean, even 72 attack feels way too low for me. If it was up to me, I'd give him like at least 90 or 100 at least. But again, I mean, it is technically up to me, but not actually, because I just don't have enough points for anything else then because I want him to be fast still. Speaking of the speed, yes. So 118 speed looks really fast on paper, but you have to keep in mind that you're only getting 20 speed IVs and you're not guaranteed a plus speed nature. So most of the time you're going to be hitting 324. Of course this is level 100 stats, but I'm just using it for reference. So you're only outspeeding base. Jesus, not even. Yeah, you're outspeeding like base 98, base 97 and below. Yeah, on the AI. So anything that's faster than base 97 on the AI, you're gonna have to run booster speed or choice scarf for. So definitely keep be mindful of that. Or stuff like agility and crap like that. But yeah, something to boost your speed up basically. So booster speed is really good still because you don't always need max special attack EVs, and you can even run like bulk EVs with booster speed and outspeed everything in the game with no speed investment. So that's really cool. You can even do like full HP defense booster speed or some shit like that. Of course, you would have to run some defense speed EVs to outpace your defense so you get the right boost. But some type of like mixed bulk, slightly offensively invested set with like max speed would be pretty cool with booster. I did still give them physical moves, even though they aren't ever using them. I mean, in theory you could, because like Ruthless Brutal Blade is still strong as hell, even though it's only 48 base attack. But it's more of a niche thing. Mirror Cutter is insane because it's 135 power spin over, right? So a lot of other mons, especially sharpness mons, will have like these 135 power sharpness moves. However, the big pro here of Mirror Cutter is that it hits a 2-hit move, so it's breaking through Focus Sash, so you can spam like Scarf, Ruthless, Mirror Cutter, and if the Focus Sash mon comes in, you're not forced out. You can just click Mirror Cutter, and assuming that they're one shot by Mirror Cutter, that they're neutral or weak to steel, which of course they won't always be, but just hypothetically speaking, that's a really good pro of Mirror Cutter. Not to mention it also hits through stuff like Energy Shield and multi-scale and Sturdy, so that's also a really nice way to cheese through those types of stop gaps, I guess, on the AI. So that's a very, very useful move. And then of course it is Ruthless boosted. So it's kind of like, I guess, special sharpness in that regard, because you've got your subspace tear, which is also like a special cutting type move, like you're slashing through the dimensions, which is fucking dope. I love that on all the future Paradox guys, because again, they are like these time traveling future, and they're not actually time traveling necessarily, but they're like relics of the, not relics, but I don't know, you get what I'm trying to say, man. They're like futuristic mons. You could even argue they're from like an alternate dimension type of shit, which I've heard theories about that, but it's cool. Steel Beam plus booster speed is insane on this guy. Also, booster speed in electric terrain with Electro Shot and or Meteor Beam is super, super strong, because of course in electric terrain you don't have to run booster energy, right? So you can get a speed boost with Quark Drive and then click your Meteor Beam or your Electro Shot for +1 special attack, and then you can start going crazy from there. But at level 65, which is the end of the game, you get access to Steel Beam. And again, I might end up having to put a soft ban on some types of moves or rebalance them or nerf them, because Steel Beam, booster speed plus high horsepower is a very broken combo, because you can essentially sweep through a lot of teams because high horsepower is priority. So for example, if there's like a Sash mon, or even more importantly like a Quick Claw mon on the AI that's supposed to stop you. Also, I just got a text, I might have to, okay, 1 sec. Sorry. So yeah, Iron Crown, sorry, I got a text and I just got a little bit distracted. But yeah, Steel Beam, Iron Crown, Quark Drive, high horsepower, cheese, late game, and end game. I wouldn't even say late game, it's end game. You get this guy in the late game, but in the end game, it's like, yeah. So very cheesy, sweepy type of guy. Again, I might personally put a ban on it, or a soft ban where it's like an optional playstyle, optional rule set. I don't know. Or I'll have to just rebalance it all in future patches, but we'll see how things play out. But yeah, on paper, something like Steel Beam giving you +1 on top of the booster speed Quark Drive, on top of high horsepower to then cheese through the Quick Claw, which is like the last stopgap, because even Sashes you can cheese with Mirror Cutter on paper. So at that point, the only thing stopping you is Quick Claw, because you're outspeeding everything. So, and you have your coverage moves and you have move relenner. So yeah, definitely something to consider, but regardless, it's very strong. And if you're going to use high horsepower more as intended, it's more of like a utility tool, not necessarily a sweeping tool, although, again, that's the nature of how things work out here. Future Sight is also sick with Ruthless. That's essentially, well, so it's 150 power with the, it's 100 power, right? But it always crits. So that's going to 225 power with Ruthless, which is super, super sick. You can use like Future Sight into Volt Switch / Teleport / U-Turn. That's really fun. I like that a lot. High Voltage is a coverage electric crit move, so that's really fun as well for Ruthless, but mostly you just have your stabs and Subspace Tear, Mirror Cutter, Steel Beam type stuff, and then, High Voltage for that coverage. They don't have that crazy of Ruthless move pool, but at least they have the dual stabs and other cool stuff. And then of course you've got good coverage that isn't Ruthless boosted, like Aura Sphere, Power Gem, Eternal Beam, stuff like that. So that's all good. It's pretty simple, straightforward overall, honestly. Again, defensive utility-wise, it's super fun to abuse. Super tanky. You've got good heal moves, good pivot moves, even stuff like, you know, screens, scary face. I mean, you can do all sorts of fun utility stuff with him. Yeah, let me know if you made it to the end of the video. I appreciate you if you did, and I'll be back for more coming up. Leave a comment if you made it to the end as well. I think I just said that, but you can't tell the bulk recording brain rot is getting to me, man. But yeah, peace, guys.